Hey everyone, welcome to the Burnt Brass Homestead channel. Washington is facing a debt ceiling crisis right now. According to many reports, the U.S. will hit the national debt ceiling tomorrow, Thursday, January 19th. What the heck is a debt ceiling? Well, the debt ceiling or statutory debt ceiling is the maximum amount of money that government can borrow by issuing bonds. It was created back in 1917 during World War I to make the federal government fiscally responsible. However, fiscal responsibility doesn't seem like it was ever achieved because instead of balancing the budget, they simply increased the loan amount. Last Friday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the U.S. is on track to reach the debt limit on how much money the federal government can borrow. The ceiling was last raised by $2.5 trillion in December of 2021 to bring the total to about $31.4 trillion. As mentioned, Congress has avoided hitting the debt ceiling in the past simply by raising it. Wouldn't it be nice to simply raise your credit limit every time you reach it, indefinitely, so that you never have to pay any money back to the credit card companies? Just buy what you want for the rest of your life and only pay interest on the loan amount, so that you do not default. That is essentially what our government does. And we are so far into debt that we will never be able to pay it back. Other countries are in the same position. So in reality, the only way to get rid of this debt is a reset. In any event, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told President Biden that Republicans are interested in imposing a spending cap in exchange for temporarily raising the debt ceiling, referencing a past deal between his predecessor and former President Trump. However, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre made statements indicating that the Biden administration is not interested in negotiations. If the debt ceiling is reached with no solution, it will definitely impact the markets, meaning more money lost for those invested in the markets, not just businessmen or stockholders or hobbyists, but also those that have already retired, further shrinking their retirement savings. The somewhat good news is the Department of Secretary can find other ways to pay expenses. So the government could theoretically continue to operate almost as normal a few weeks after the debt ceiling is reached. The last time the U.S. hit the debt ceiling was in 2011, and it was the first time the federal government saw its credit rating downgraded. We all need a little help sometimes, but choosing to be totally 100% dependent on government completely removes your independence. You are at their mercy. To continue to receive government assistance, they have control over you to do exactly what they tell you to do. They can limit the places you can live and how to live. And what if the next step was to force you into a chip program? If the government ever does decide to balance the books, I am sure supplemental income assistance programs will be reduced. What would you do then? If there is a temporary economic collapse, many more people will be impacted. Those who are debt-free or close to it or on their way to becoming debt-free, and those that have skill sets to grow food and raise livestock, are in the best position to survive an economic collapse. Look at the Amish. That is how we all were at one point in history. There was almost complete independence from government. They kept that tradition, the Amish. They have their own schools, farms, businesses, and land, but they are community driven. They could care less about what government does. Seek the old ways of doing things, like growing food, raising livestock, small or large. Know how to hunt and fish. Know how to start and maintain a fire for heat. Know how to can and preserve food. Even if you are not in a position to do some of these things today, it is important to possess the knowledge. I hope that you have enjoyed the content of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to help this channel to grow.